from the WYLN studios in Hazleton, Pennsylvania. WYLN Evening Edition at 5:30 starts right now.
Good evening. It's Friday, December 30th, 2016. I'm Ann Gownley, and this is our Year in Review newscast. We begin with a story that has been followed by most news outlets across the country and still manages to make headlines today. WYLN's Aaron Harvey takes us through former Pennsylvania Attorney General Kathleen Kane's journey.
While 2016 was a good year for some, it was not a great year for former Pennsylvania Attorney General Kathleen Kane. The former highest law enforcement officer in the state was convicted and sentenced on multiple charges this past August. The former Scrantonian took office in January of 2013 and was the first female attorney general in the state's history. She was only in office for about a year when a grand jury began investigating the leaking of 2 memos which came from Kane's office. In January of 2015, the grand jury recommended criminal charges related to those leaks against Kane for perjury, false swearing, official oppression, and obstruction of law. In August of 2015, Kane was charged with many charges relating to the leaks, but denied the charges and refused to resign. Later in August, Kane stood on trial for charges that she leaked secret grand jury information to the press and lied about it under oath. In September of 2015, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania suspended Kane's license to practice law, but she was still allowed to keep her position as Attorney General. In October of 2015, Kane faced an additional perjury charge related to her previous charges. In January of 2016, several lawmakers made motions to vote to impeach Kane. In February, a trial date of August 8th was set for Kane's criminal trial to begin in Montgomery Court in Philadelphia, and the attempted impeachment of Kane failed. On February 16th, Kane announced that she will not seek re-election. On Thursday, March 21st, Kane's aide was sentenced to 3 to 6 months in prison for illegally assessing emails from a grand jury investigation, then giving the information to Kane. On Friday, April 22nd, we learned that Kane used personal email accounts to conduct official business and transmitted confidential information, which included the identities of undercover agents. Kane sent out or received nearly 4,000 work-related emails through AOL and Yahoo accounts from the time that she took office in February of 2013 through August of 2015, according to records obtained by Associated Press. On Monday, August 8th, Kane's trial began in Montgomery Court. The trial only took a week before she was convicted of all charges that included 2 counts each of perjury, false swearing, obstructing the administration of law and conspiracy, and the count of official oppression. Kane announced her resignation the following day. Just 2 weeks after her resignation, another Scranton native, Bruce Beamer, was the new Attorney General of Pennsylvania. On Monday, October 24th, Kane was sentenced to serve 10 to 23 months in the Montgomery County Jail. Kane walked out of the courtroom in handcuffs when she did not come up with the $75,000 cash bail. Kane did hire a new attorney and is appealing her conviction. She is currently free on $75,000 cash bail. For WILN News, I'm Aaron Harvey.
Thank you, Aaron. A Hazleton man was sentenced earlier this month for his role in the death of Samuel Vacanti of Drums. WYLN's Julie Stefanovich has more on this story that started in the summer of 2015 and ended with his sentencing this month.
A Hazleton man was taken into custody back in September of 2015 for the murder of Samuel Vacanti of Drums. At the time of his arrest, Elazar Yisrael was 29 years old and facing charges of criminal homicide, robbery, burglary, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse. 52-year-old Samuel Vacanti was reported missing in August of 2015. His body was later found in a wooded area in Albrightsville. Vacanti's home was searched by authorities where they found blood trails in his garage. According to police, Yisrael's fingerprints were found on Vacanti's car when it was found on 8th and Laurel Streets in Hazleton on September 2, 2015. Yisrael and Vacanti's estranged wife Lisa began a romantic relationship 2 years prior to the murder. She took the stand for the prosecution at Yisrael's trial earlier this month. She testified that she was working on the night of the murder and began receiving unusual texts from Samuel's cell phone. She stated that the language in the text were uncharacteristic of Sam and more characteristic of Elazar. She also accused him of doing something to Sam. The prosecution alleged that the murder was committed so that Lisa could take full ownership of a $200,000 home that Sam and Lisa owned together. On December 13th of 2016, a Luzerne County jury found the now 31-year-old Yisrael guilty of first-degree murder, robbery, burglary, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. He offered condolences to Vacante's family, but maintained his innocence. Elazar Yisrael will be spending the rest of his life behind bars. Reporting for WYLN News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thank you, Julie. It was called a monumental drug seizure in the city of Hazleton this year. And tonight we look back on our report from January 19th when it all went down. Ryan Mark Hunsinger and Ramon Lorenzo were arrested Monday night around 8:45 p.m. and were in possession of 19,200 bags of heroin worth approximately $100,000. Those two men are behind bars tonight on drug charges stemming from an investigation by the Hazleton Police Narcotics Unit and the Attorney General's Office. Hazleton Police Chief Jerry Speziale said these arrests are the result of an investigation into heroin trafficking in the Hazleton area that began on December 3rd of last year. Police had the pair under surveillance and conducted undercover buys. In addition to the heroin, police also found crack, powdered cocaine, marijuana, and $7,000 in cash. When the pair came back to the Hazleton area, police stopped the vehicle in the area of Tyson and Roosevelt Streets. Grizz, the department's canine, alerted police to the drugs. Mayor Jeff Cassat called this incident a monumental seizure and was proud of the department taking these drugs off the streets.
Obviously, I was serious when we came into office that I wanted a safer city, and we're going to do everything we can to make it safer. We want the people to feel safe and be able to walk the streets.
Chief Speziale said it was truly a team effort. Officials say this seizure is one of the larger seizures of heroin made by the Hazleton Narcotics Division.
We've taken 2 major players off the street, and we've taken 3 in the search warrant in December. We will continue to fight as hard as we have to, and we will work with the men and women of this department and the Attorney General's office and the DEA, our state, our federal counterparts, and we will work hard to make sure that Hazleton's a safer city.
Mayor Cassat hopes the public will continue alerting the police if they see or hear anything suspicious. He says if you see something, say something. Hunsinger had outstanding felony drug delivery charges pending against him, while Lorenzo had an outstanding warrant out of the Hazleton Police Department. Both men remain behind bars at the Luzerne County Prison for lack of $250,000 bail. This year, the city of Hazleton swore in a new mayor and 2 new council members. WYLN's Gary Perna was at Inauguration Day in Hazleton back on January 4th, and this was his report.
Every 2 years, Hazleton City Council meets the first Monday in January to swear in council members that won elections, and every 4 years to swear in a new mayor. Well, that's what happened this morning. Council President Jack Mundy first called for the outgoing officials to make comments, and outgoing Mayor Joe Yanuzzi thanked the residents of the city.
To the residents of the city of Hazleton, thank you for putting up with me.
Then Mundy called up Jeff Cassat, Gene Mope, and Robert Gavio to be sworn in.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will uphold and defend.
That I will uphold and defend.
The Constitution of the United States of America.
The Constitution of the United States of America.
And the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
And the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
And I will perform my duties.
And I will perform my duties.
With fidelity.
With fidelity.
Once they took their seats, council reappointed Jack Mundy as president and Gene Mope as vice president. Mundy then called to fill the vacancy left by Cassat. Council voted 3-1, with Gavio voting not to appoint Grace Cuso to fill Cassat's term.
That I will uphold and defend.
That I will uphold and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
Hazleton Council will be controlled entirely by Democrats with a Republican mayor. Councilwoman Jean Mope said she's excited for the city for 2016.
I'm looking forward to working together with everybody. I think we have a fresh start now. I hope and pray that we all work on the same page. Jeff, I think, is going to be a wonderful mayor. With council's help, we can be very successful and move the city forward. But it's a working together relationship, and that's what we had lacking, and I think this is what we can look forward to now.
Councilman Gavio said he's ready to get to work.
Oh, like I said, I'm looking forward to working with all council members, and I think both us and the mayor and his staff has to have a working relationship. I mean, we made the news today with the crime, I think, has to trump all. I think if we make our citizens feel safe, we'll sell more houses, businesses will come in, and so my key issue is crime. And it's always revenue. I'm sure we all have ideas of revenue, but we got to walk the balance here.
Councilwoman Kuzo said she is also ready to get to work.
I'm looking at trying to clean up the city. I'm looking at getting the crime under control. I'm looking at having the council and the mayor work together, which I think we can. Because actually, I'm friends with Jeff. I'm friends with all council. Even though the gentleman voted no on me, he and I have been friends before we were 16. But that's okay.
Now that council is seated and Mayor-elect Cassatt is now Mayor Cassatt of Hazleton, council and the mayor said they're going to work together. First, on combating crime. Second, on the city budget to make sure the residents of Hazleton are taken care of in council's and the mayor's terms. In City Hall, for Wyln News, I'm Gary Perna.
Thank you, Gary. During the late night on November 8th, America went into a tailspin as the results of the 2016 presidential election came through. Wyln's Abby Piskel has a look back at the 2016 presidential election.
It was a long few months as rallies and protests happened across America for the 2016 presidential election. Candidates dwindled down to Ted Cruz, Bernie Sanders, Gary Johnson, Jill Stein, Hillary Clinton, and Donald Trump. With campaign promises to make America great again and to be stronger together, Trump and Clinton became the Republican and Democratic choices.
We want to have the wall. We want the wall. We're going to have the wall because we're going to stop drugs from pouring into our country and people from pouring into our country. We want the wall.
We're going to crack down on companies that ship jobs and profits overseas. And we're going to reward companies that share profits with their employees.
Across the United States on November 8th, many went to their polling locations to cast their votes. America anxiously awaited as the votes were counted, and a map of the United States was colored in red and blue to show who won which state. It was announced late on Tuesday, November 8th, that Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump had won the election. Trump received 304 votes to Clinton's 227. President-elect Donald Trump will be sworn in as president after his inauguration on Friday, January 20th. For Wyln News, I'm Abby Piskel.
Thank you, Abby. Time now for a first look at our forecast. Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbaczyk is in the Weather Center with all the details. Joe?
Hey, it's looking like a pretty nice weekend across our area. Let's take a look at our Fairway Subaru weekend outlook, what we can expect as we go into tomorrow. Not looking too bad, about 32 degrees, a little bit windy from time to time, staying dry for tomorrow night. Of course, New Year's night going into New Year's Day, about 28 degrees. And then looking pretty good for a brand new year. Mix of clouds and sunshine, temperatures getting up to near freezing. Complete 7-day forecast coming up in just a few. And
thanks, Joe. Coming up next, the city of Hazleton was highlighted on a national level this year, and the city of Wilkes-Barre made history by hiring a female police chief. Stay tuned.
You're watching WYLN News with Ann Gownley, video journalists Mike Lula and Julie Stefanovich, Paula Degnan, Gary Perna, Abby Piskel, and Aaron Harvey. Sports with Eric DeBerardinis and John Eric Poli, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbaczyk.
Why do so many Subaru buyers love Fairway Subaru?
By far, Fairway Subaru gave me the best price and the best trade-in.
I've been very pleased with their service.
We actually found what we were looking for right off the lot.
Made sure that the vehicle I was looking for fit my needs. I really feel like a part of their extended family.
Fairway Subaru on Route 309, Hazel Township, or visit us online during the Subaru Share the Love event.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
The Victoria story's a glorious story, the sweetest that's ever been told. They found they were handy at making fine candy for family and friends to behold. Word spread through the land that Victoria's candies would one day be leading the rest. Now that day is here, for the facts are quite clear that Victoria's candies are best.
One of the longest running television programs in the United States made its way to Hazleton for the first time in program history. Wyln News intern Maria Cinti has this story from May 23rd of this year.
From Portland, Oregon to Kansas City, Missouri, the Emmy-nominated television series Cops has showcased in more than 100 cities across the U.S. But for the next 8 weeks, Hazleton will be in the spotlight. Hazleton Police Chief Jerry Speziali says that, like many other cities, Cops will also be an economic engine for the city of Hazleton.
We were able to get a lot of economic development out of Cops because nobody knew where the city was, as if people throughout the country would be able to see the economic opportunities that Hazleton has to offer to the entire world.
A press conference held at Hazleton City Hall this afternoon addressed the details of what the Hazleton Police Department should expect over the next 2 months. Members of the Cops TV production team will accompany Hazleton Police Department officers as they execute their daily activities. From misdemeanor crimes to felonies, the Cops producers team will be alongside Hazleton officers every step of the way. Hazleton Mayor Jeff Cassatt says bringing the show to Hazleton will help showcase the area and be a huge benefit for the city.
The people need to see the city as it is. It's not as bad as people think it is. And the officers we have are excellent at what they do.
And Cops producer Zach Ragsdale agrees.
I believe law enforcement is a good thing. They're the folks that go out there and risk their lives every day to keep us safe. And so it's a good chance for the folks in this community to dispel some of the misconceptions that they see or that they hear or that they have about law enforcement. They can see how their police department works in their community. And so I guess we'll see if it changes their mind when the story's aired.
Ragsdale says one of the most exciting aspects of filming in Hazleton is the fresh perspective it'll bring to the show.
You know, when I sit down to try and map out a season for Cops, I'm always looking at different areas of the country, and this is an area of the country we haven't been before. I've been to Pittsburgh, I've been to Philly, but I've never been to this part of Pennsylvania, so I'm excited.
Production crews will be traveling from the police station to the streets of Hazleton over the next several weeks, and the Hazleton series is expected to start airing this fall. In Hazleton, for Wyln News, I'm Maria Cinti.
Zahners Automotive Incorporated has been providing complete towing and wreckage recovery service. They also offer emergency truck and trailer repairs and roadside assistance. Located at 213 East Broad Street in Hazleton. Call them at 570-454-0541.
Steinbrenner Auto Sales and Service, 697 South Mountain Boulevard in Mountain Top. With over 35 years of experience, make them your only call when shopping for tires or service work. They will match or beat any competitor's pricing. 100% customer satisfaction.
Why do so many Subaru buyers love Fairway Subaru?
By far, Fairway Subaru gave me the best price and the best trade-in.
I've been very pleased with their service.
We actually found what we were looking for right off the lot.
Made sure that the vehicle I was looking for fit my needs. I really feel like a part of their extended family.
Fairway Subaru on Route 309, Hazel Township, or visit us online during the Subaru Share the Love event.
Well, we got the cold weather across our area right now, and it is typical what we can expect ending part of December going into January. But as quick as it gets cold across our area, we've got a warm up in our forecast. Before all is said and done, I think we're going to get back up into the 40s. and we're going to also have a chance of some rain in the forecast as well. So as quick as we have some of the snow on the ground like we do right now, a lot of it's going to be melting over the next 7 days. We'll talk when that meltdown will occur, but first, on to the numbers, as it's a little bit windy out here, making it feel colder than what the actual air temperature indicates. Indications are just like what you see on the screen. It's 28 degrees, but with some of the winds that's out there, at times it's feeling like temperatures are only in the teens across our area. And it'll continue to be a little bit windy out there as we head through tomorrow, and even as we start going into tomorrow night as well. So how do we do temperature-wise for the day? 30 and 26, the split in temperatures. The wind gusts coming in at 31 miles per hour throughout the Commonwealth of the good old state of Pennsylvania. Here's what we're looking at. Temperatures for the most part, we got some upper 20s out there. We got some lower 30s. And, you know, that's what we can expect as we end January and as we start going, as we end December going into January. And those winds a little bit gusty out there across our area. And that, of course, is making it feel colder than what the actual air temperature indicates. The Fairway Subaru 7-day forecast looking like this. Fairway Subaru is proud to support Make-A-Wish Foundation of Greater Pennsylvania with a $250 Subaru donation in connection with the Share the Love event, helping to share even more love right here in our community through January the 3rd. So a pair of 32s as we go into the upcoming weekend. Looks like it'll be dry. And then going into early next week, could have to deal with a little bit of a light wintry mix as we go into our Monday. But then should change over to rain. And look at those numbers as we start going into Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to be back up into the 40s and then colder for Thursday and Friday, only in the 20s. We'll have more for you coming up after the break.
When you're looking for a new or used car, truck, or SUV, Lehighton Kia is the place to go. They showcase a variety of vehicles, like the totally transformed Soul and the eye-catching Cadenza, the Kia Optima, not your average mid-size sedan, the Forte lineup, including the Coupe and popular 5-door, the Sorento and Sportage, with a bold array of features. Ask about specials and incentives, and you can't beat the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Lehighton Kia, 21 Blakesley Boulevard, Lehighton. Call them at 610-377-1570.
The holidays are all about family. To enjoy each other over good food and laughs, remembering good times shared together. There's no better place than Graziano's, located in Beaver Meadows. This family restaurant has the best home-style entrees made fresh to order, as well as a warm and cozy atmosphere. You'll be served by a friendly and caring staff. Book your family or office party now and enjoy a delicious holiday season at Graziano's, 570-455-9116.
A new police chief for the city of Wilkes-Barre made history as the first female chief was sworn into office. Her name may be familiar since she has been with the police department for nearly 27 years. Mayor Tony George named Lieutenant Marcella Landacki the new chief of police. Landacki began working with the department as a patrol officer. From there, she moved up through the ranks to sergeant and to lieutenant. Mayor George said she is no nonsense type of officer and has one of the best platoons in the city.
I went through the PSP Municipal Academy. When I came out from there, I was put into the DARE program in 1996, which I created, and it was very large by PCCD standards. I was moved out of that position when I was promoted in 2002, sergeant on the road. Then for a number of years, I went and ran the Records and Evidence Division. Following which I was moved out of there due to my promotion to lieutenant, at which time I was night shift, and I'm that watch commander since 2010.
Landacki says this is a new direction for Wilkes-Barre, hiring a woman as chief, but one she believes is positive. Since becoming chief, Landacki has been criticized by members of the Police Benevolent Association. Coming up next, John Eric Poli brings us the number 1 and 2 biggest things in sports for 2016. Stay tuned.
Connects Janitorial Service, carpet cleaning, tile, linoleum, hardwood floor refinishing. Also, office and home cleaning for dependable service. Call Connects Janitorial Service, 570-788-2748.
Personal cancer care is close to home.
The Cancer Treatment Center at Hazleton has been providing radiation therapies to cancer patients for 30 years. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with cancer and need radiation therapy and would like to learn more about our treatments, let our compassionate, experienced team of experts help you. No reason to travel out of town for same services that are only minutes away from your home. The Cancer Treatment Center at Hazleton, 1701 East Broad Street in Hazleton. Close to home.
So far this week, we've counted down some of the top moments of 2016, and today we'll finish our countdown with the top 2 moments of the year. Number 2, George Curry passes away at the age of 71. In April, legendary high school football coach George Curry passed away. Curry coached for 46 seasons, and in those 46 years, he won 455 games, making him the winningest coach in Pennsylvania. Curry had 2 small stints at Lake Lehman and Wyoming Valley West, but it's at Berwick where he built his empire. Curry led the Bulldogs to 6 PIAA Class AAA championships and 3 USA Today Mythical National Championships. The USA Today also named Curry the National Coach of the Year in 1992 and in 1995. Curry may be gone, but to his former players, members of the community, and just fans of football, Curry will never be forgotten.
Work ethic was incredible, and he instilled that in us. But more than anything, Coach Curry gave you confidence to believe you could win, to believe you could succeed on and off the field. And that's really the kind of thing that is special when you walk away.
Coach Curry was an amazing man. He really was. He taught us beyond football. He was a father figure to so many people, so many kids. It was an amazing experience that I wouldn't trade the world for.
Number 1, Joe Madden and the Cubs win the World Series. Hazleton came out in full force to support Hazleton native Joe Madden and the Cubs as they tried to end the longest drought in sports history. The Cubs didn't win a World Series since 1908, giving the franchise a 108-year span without a World Championship. The Cubs would fall behind the Cleveland Indians 3-1, and facing elimination, the Cubs battled back to tie the series at 3, and before the epic Game 7, fans here in the Hazleton area wish Joe good luck.
It's very exciting to see a Game 7, especially having somebody from Hazleton involved in it. So I'm a Cub fan, so hopefully it works out, and go Cubs go.
Coach Joe Madden, from all of us here at the Hazleton Fire Department and to the entire Chicago Cubs team, we wish you the best of luck tonight as you'll bring home the first World Series of Chicago in many, many years. You're a great inspiration to our city, a great man, and we're very thankful for your service, but most importantly, a proud Hazletonian, and we're very proud of you, and we all will be rooting and supporting you tonight as you bring home that first World Series in Chicago. Good luck, and best wishes.
The Cubs would end their drought in dramatic fashion by winning Game 7 in a thriller, and Madden led his ball club to the most prized possession in baseball, and he took us through his mind as the Cubs celebrated their Game 7 victory.
I don't know that I've fully absorbed everything that's occurred yet. When we got on the field after winning the scrum on the field where everybody's hugging one another and kind of crying a little bit, it was pretty, that's when it really first hits you how ominous it is. And my first thought was in 108 years, and all the people that were impacted by that, and then beyond that, my family, my coaching staff, the organization, the ownership, etc. Those were in the thoughts, but 108 years was my first thought.
Everyone here in Hazleton loves seeing Joe Madden and the Cubs celebrate winning a world championship, and they look forward to cheering Joe on this season as the Cubs try to go back-to-back. That's it for sports. Stay tuned.
Physical Therapy and Balance Centers. It's spelled different because we are different. Physical is unlike any therapy center you've been to before. If you're tired of living in pain, if you want to move better, overcome an injury or balance disorder, or you just want to improve your strength and conditioning, our highly skilled team of medical experts will help you get back to living the life you enjoy. New mentality, new body, new life. Get physical.
Well, that is our year in review. And yep. Joe, looking back on it, we were talking, it's crazy to see how fast the year went.
Yeah, it went very fast.
The amount of news stories that went on this year.
2017 already.
I know.
Go figure.
I feel like we were just talking about how fast Thanksgiving came and how fast Christmas came, and it's already New Year's Eve weekend. So if you're headed out, please be careful. And from everyone here at WYLN and the Gans family, we want to wish all of our viewers a very happy and healthy new year.